Warm words. Thank you for Miss and the school administration to have allowed me to talk to you, especially knowing that I keep up my notoriety for saying rather unacceptable and scandalous things. So here we go. Lot of things have changed in this school since when I studied. There was no auditorium. We had a stage. But the school was bigger in my eyes when I was here. There were 3 schools in one campus, and there were parts of the school which we did not even explore. It was like uncharted waters for us. But some things don't change, it looks like. It's a long time since I listened to our school anthem, and I'm glad to know that the third line, we still sing the same way. It should actually be, so from east and from west we gather, and then we all used to sing west and, because there seems to be a gap in the music, and it's thrilling to know that you are also singing in the same way. So keep it going. The first line of the second verse says, "Through the heart of a new day's endeavor breathes the life of the old days that live." So I think as you grow up, when you become adults, school memories are something that will be very, very precious to you, and it's something that will you will carry all your life. I now notice also that there used to be a house called Gilbert's, which is now named Viswasam after Miss Rose Viswasam, and I'm proud to say that I know Rose Viswasam Miss, and my ate and her were teacher trainees together in the same campus where there used to be a teacher training facility. So a school is something that gives you an important past that you can carry on with you through the rest of your life. And then going on to the third verse, it says, "Oh Anita, enlighten thy pupils with the love and the faith from above." So initially when I was asked to talk, I was like, yes, I'm going to give them a one-day seminar of all the memories I had of school. But then I think this is a service. I was told I had only 5 minutes to talk. So I may not stop at 5 minutes, but I've already asked Lily Priya Mrs. permission. So that leads us directly to our Bible passage. I'm sure as Anita's school children... by the way, I must say that I was asked to address the Senate. Sorry, I'm probably addressing the people who are sitting behind because I was never part of the Senate. In fact, there was no Senate in our time. So I was a very, very regular, average student. I was never class pupil reader that I can remember. I was never first in any class. So I was just like one of you guys who are sitting way behind, okay? So, so I'm addressing you, but also you, I hope. Which leads us to the Bible passage. I'm sure you know John 11 very well as Anita's school children, because, we taught Bible every day and several times a day, I presume. So yes, but it's a story that brings together a few things that I really think of as symbolizing what a school should be. Christ, when he came as a human, he first interacted with people as a teacher. In this very passage, you must read in the verses before, and if you have never read this chapter before, please go and read it at home. They call Jesus as Rabbi, or the Hebrew word for saying guru or teacher. And a teacher is that kind of person. Okay, a teacher is somebody who introduces us to God. And I'm so grateful that as part of my schooling here in Anita, my teachers introduced me to the real, living and true God. I remember that and they used to pray so much for us. When we were in 10th standard, Nirmala Miss was a geography teacher and our class pupil leader, and when we went for the final exams, she would hold each of our hands and pray and put a silver in our hand. That's the kind of love that teachers have for children, and it was really nice to hear Lily Priya Miss say, a teacher along with a parent is somebody who really feels proud of what we become later on in life. And I think nothing will make our teachers more proud than for them to know that we have become God's children. So Christ started off his ministry as a teacher, a rabbi. It's interesting to know that the word doctor means teacher actually. So I'm so glad that I'm a doctor in the sense that I get to spend a lot of time with people teaching now. And I hope part of what I teach now is because the way I teach now is because of how teachers have treated me here. But in the passage you will go on to see that Christ says, people say of him how much he loved Lazarus. And Christ went on to become their friend. Later on in John's Gospel, he clearly spells it out and says, I no longer call you my disciples, or my servants, but my friends. And it was a great privilege for me to become friends with some of the teachers. Joan West, for example, Dilip, so many of them, especially when we were in senior classes, like some of you are. They were our friends. We could talk whatever we wanted with them. We could ask doubts and quarrel with them, argue with them, say things to them that we could not say at home to our own parents. And they tolerated us, encouraged us to think, and involved us in discussions. And all that in order so that we, through finding the friend in our teacher, we will also find the friend that we have in God. God, Christ, is our teacher, but he is our teacher so that one day we will become his friend. And if we don't graduate into that class, then that's going to be sad. But Christ is also another third thing. Okay, so three things. He was a teacher who became their friend, but eventually eventually they realized that he was their God. In this passage in John 11 verses 25, so it says, I am the resurrection and the life. So coming to know Jesus as a teacher of good things, of moral values, of how to live, of how to behave in society. Schooling, like medical, is an invention of Christianity. Okay, this kind of schooling. That should lead us to knowing Jesus as our friend, in which the school environment and our own teachers help us, so that eventually we will know that Jesus is God. And how do we know that Jesus is God? By being resurrected in our insight, like Lazarus was resurrected. So as we know Jesus as our friend, we will go on to know Jesus is our God. And in this passage, Lazarus actually comes back to life. The proof that Jesus is God is his ability to bring people back to life. The ability that he himself first exercised by coming back to life, but the ability that he also gives us, each one of his children. And we know that when we come to God, he can give us a new life, a resurrection experience, an experience of becoming his child. And so the reason why I chose this passage is one more, that I remember one of these devotions from school. Padmini Miss was our assistant school headmistress when we were in school, and I remember her teaching this passage to us when we were obviously making a lot of noise and some teacher didn't come to the class. And then if you read the passage, it says, Jesus could have said, stone move away, with one word, and the stone would have moved. But he didn't do that. He said, go and roll the stone away. And then he said, come forth, Lazarus. That is something that only God can say. No human can say to a dead person, come forth, and he will come. But then after that, what happened? Jesus again said, go and take off his bands. Give him something to eat, in another passage when he brings back a little girl to life. So she told us that Christianity is not a religion to be comfortable in our laziness. I will pray, God will do everything, and I can enjoy. That is not what Christianity is. You are part of a school, we are part of God's family, so that we will do our part. What we can do, God will always leave us to do it. And then he will surely do the part that we cannot do. So we are here to study, to learn so many things, to especially learn good behavior, learn leadership qualities if you have the opportunity, to learn to play, to learn to let go, to learn about God, so that when it comes to what we cannot do, God can do it for us. And I hope that you will all come to know Jesus in this special way, not only as a teacher and through your teachers, not only as a friend and through your friends. Oh, I must say that, right? I made some fantastic friends when I was in school, and one of them is actually video shooting me now in the corner. We were batchmates in school. So, school is a place of friendship, but school must most importantly become the place where you know Jesus is God. Not so that you can be lazy, but so that you can do your best, so that when God does his part, there will be a new life. Thanks for listening to me. I am, of course, eager to talk to you. Maybe I should have one day with you to tell all my stories, but we will leave it for another day. Thanks for the opportunity and all the best.